I need to tell you something that might make you angry. Not because I'm trying to scare you, not because I'm trying to be dramatic, but because the truth is, many older adults are taking blood pressure pills every single day, suffering through side effects, and still not getting the protection they think they're getting. And research published just a few months ago shows that a simple 5-minute habit you can do tonight, right before bed, can lower blood pressure more effectively than most people expect. 5 minutes. No cost, no prescription, no side effects. And yet, almost nobody is being told about it. Not by their doctor, not by their pharmacist, not by their cardiologist. And once you understand why, you're going to realize this isn't just an oversight. It's a systemic failure. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what the habit is, how to do it correctly, why it works at a nervous system level, and how to use it safely if you're already taking medication. But first, I need to ask you a question. Are you currently taking blood pressure medication? If you are, I want you to pay very close attention, because there is a high chance you are experiencing side effects that you have never connected to those pills. Side effects that your doctor may never have warned you about. Side effects that are quietly stealing your energy, your sleep, your memory, and even your confidence. And you may think it's just aging, but it's not. Let me tell you about a man named William. William was 73 years old. He had been taking blood pressure medication for over a decade. It started with 1 pill, then 2, then 3. By the time he came to see me, he was taking 3 different blood pressure medications every single morning. High doses, every day. And here's what shocked him. His blood pressure was still elevated, still around 148/90, and his doctor was recommending a 4th medication. But here's what his doctor never asked him. William had a cough, not a cold, not allergies, a dry, relentless cough that came in spasms throughout the day. It was embarrassing. It was exhausting. It kept him awake at night, and it had been happening for years. He also had swollen ankles every evening, puffy, painful. His socks left deep grooves in his skin. Walking became uncomfortable. Another side effect nobody mentioned. And then there was the nighttime urination. William was getting up 4 times every night. 4 times. His sleep was destroyed, night after night, week after week, year after year. And he was exhausted. He felt like he was living in a fog. And there were more symptoms. Dizziness when standing up. He nearly fell twice. Brain fog. He struggled to find words mid-sentence. His memory felt weaker. And the most painful symptom of all, sexual dysfunction. Complete inability. Devastating to his marriage. Devastating to his confidence. But he was too embarrassed to bring it up. So he stayed silent, and he kept taking the pills, because he believed he was doing the right thing. Now here's the part that makes this story truly tragic. William suffered through all of that, all those side effects, all that lost sleep, all that fear. And his blood pressure still wasn't controlled, so he was suffering and still not protected. And William's story is not rare. It is happening to millions of older adults right now. Maybe it's happening to you. You take your pills, you do what you're told, but you're tired, you're coughing, your ankles swell, you urinate all night, you feel dizzy, you feel foggy, you feel less like yourself, and you assume, this is just aging. No. In many cases, this is what blood pressure medications do. And nobody connects the dots because nobody is asking the right questions. Here's what typically happens. Your doctor sees you for 15 minutes. They take your blood pressure. It's still slightly high. They increase your dose, or they add another pill, and they send you home. They rarely ask, how are you sleeping? How is your energy? Are you coughing? Are your ankles swelling? How is your mood? How is your sex life? They don't ask because they don't have time, and many doctors are trained to treat the number on the cuff, not the quality of your life. But there's something even more frustrating happening underneath all of this. And once you understand it, you're going to see why so many people feel trapped, why so many people keep adding pill after pill, and why so many people feel like their blood pressure is unstoppable. Because the real cause of high blood pressure in older adults is often not being addressed. And the 5-minute habit I'm about to show you does something medication often fails to do. It addresses the root driver, not the symptom. Now, I know what you're thinking. If this is real, if this is supported by research, why hasn't my doctor told me? And I'm going to tell you the honest answer. It's not because your doctor is evil. It's not because they want you to suffer. It's because the system they work in does not reward lifestyle education. There is no profit in teaching someone how to breathe correctly. Nobody sells breathing. No pharmaceutical company sends a representative to your doctor's office with free samples of breathing exercises. No one makes money when you learn a 5-minute habit that costs nothing. But blood pressure medication is a massive industry, and the pills you take every day generate billions of dollars every year. So the medical system is built around prescribing, not around teaching. And the result is that millions of older adults suffer through side effects, while powerful, evidence-based alternatives remain invisible. Now, I'm going to warn you. This next part is where most people get uncomfortable, because it challenges what we've been taught to believe about blood pressure. Most people think blood pressure is purely a heart problem, or a salt problem, or a genetics problem. But in many seniors, blood pressure is actually a nervous system problem, and that changes everything. Because if blood pressure is being driven by the nervous system, then the solution is not always another pill. Sometimes the solution is activating the part of your body designed to calm you down, to relax your arteries, to slow your heart rate, to lower pressure naturally. And that is exactly what this 5-minute habit does. But before I reveal it, you need to understand something very important. Because if I just say, breathe slowly for 5 minutes, most people will roll their eyes. They will dismiss it. They will try it once or twice, then stop, and nothing will change. So I need you to understand the mechanism. Because once you understand why this works, you will never stop doing it. And it may become the most powerful health habit you've ever added to your life. So let's talk about what is actually controlling your blood pressure. Your blood pressure is controlled by 2 branches of your nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of them like a gas pedal and a brake pedal. The sympathetic nervous system is the gas pedal. It speeds everything up. It increases heart rate. It constricts blood vessels. It raises blood pressure. This is your fight or flight system. It is designed for emergencies, for danger, for sudden stress. The parasympathetic nervous system is the brake pedal. It slows everything down. It relaxes blood vessels. It lowers heart rate. It lowers blood pressure. This is your rest and digest system. This is the state your body is meant to be in most of the time. But here's the problem. Modern life keeps you stuck on the gas pedal. Chronic stress, financial worry, health anxiety, family responsibilities, constant news, constant stimulation. And if you're older, there's something else. Your nervous system becomes more sensitive with age. Your stress response becomes easier to trigger, and your recovery becomes slower. That means many seniors are walking around with their nervous system in fight or flight mode all day long, even when they feel like they're just living normally. And when you live in that state, your blood vessels stay tight, your heart rate stays elevated, and your blood pressure stays high. Now, what do blood pressure medications do? They try to force your blood vessels open. They try to slow your heart. They try to override the gas pedal. But they do not fix the fact that your nervous system is still stuck in overdrive. That's why medications often stop working over time. That's why people like William end up needing more and more pills. The root cause is still there, and it keeps pushing the pressure up. But there is a way to hit the brake pedal. There is a way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system directly. And when you do, your blood pressure drops naturally. Your heart rate slows naturally. Your vessels relax naturally. And you don't need to force your body with chemicals. You guide it. And that's where the research comes in. Because the studies show that a specific breathing technique can activate the parasympathetic system so strongly that blood pressure can drop by 10, 15, sometimes even 20 points over time. And it takes 5 minutes per day. Now, before I reveal the exact technique, I need to tell you something that makes this very personal. Because it's not just about numbers. It's about what happens when blood pressure stays elevated, even when you think you're fine. William's father also had high blood pressure. He took medication, multiple pills. He believed he was protected. Until one morning, at 71 years old, he got out of bed and collapsed. Massive stroke, half of his brain destroyed, half of his body paralyzed. William found him on the bathroom floor, face drooping, arm twisted beneath him, trying to speak, but no words came out, because the stroke destroyed his speech center. His father could understand everything. He was trapped, inside a body that would not obey him, and a mind that could not express itself. He never walked again. He never spoke again. He spent the last 2 years of his life in a nursing home, needing help with everything: bathing, dressing, toileting. Every shred of dignity gone, just waiting. And William watched it happen. So when William's blood pressure remained elevated despite 3 medications, he lived in fear. Every morning he saw that number, and he thought about his father. And he wondered, will I be next? That is the reality of high blood pressure. It is called the silent killer for a reason. You cannot feel it. You don't know if your pressure is normal or dangerous based on how you feel. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't warn you. It just quietly damages your arteries, your heart, your kidneys, and your brain. Until one day, it becomes catastrophic. So if you are watching this and you are on blood pressure medication, I want you to comment below and type BP meds, because I want to see how many of you are dealing with this, and I want you to know you're not alone. And now, let's talk about the research, because this is where the story changes. Studies published in respected medical journals have shown that a specific breathing technique practiced for just 5 minutes daily can lower blood pressure significantly. Not slightly, significantly. Comparable to medication, sometimes better. And the technique is based on something called resonant frequency breathing. Now, I'm going to explain it in a simple way, because you don't need to be a scientist to use it. But you do need to do it correctly, because the pace matters, the timing matters, and that is what makes it work. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do tonight, step by step, in plain English. No complicated science, no confusion. Just a simple 5-minute ritual you can do in your bedroom that can change your blood pressure and your quality of life. So don't go anywhere, because you're about to learn the habit your doctor never taught you. Now, here's the 5-minute habit your doctor probably never taught you. And if you do this correctly every night, you're not just relaxing. You're turning on the exact biological switch your body uses to lower blood pressure naturally. It's called resonant frequency breathing. And the key is this: the pace matters. Not take a few deep breaths, not inhale and exhale slowly sometime. The research shows the strongest effect happens when you breathe at exactly 6 breaths per minute. That means inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds. 1 full breath every 10 seconds. 6 breaths in 1 minute. And you do it for 5 minutes. That's it. But here's why it works. Because when you breathe at this exact rhythm, your breathing lines up with 3 powerful systems in your body. First, heart rate variability. Second, blood pressure oscillations. Third, your baroreflex, the body's built-in blood pressure regulation reflex. When those systems sync, your parasympathetic nervous system turns on like a brake pedal. Your heart rate slows without being forced. Your blood vessels relax without being pushed. Your pressure drops because the root driver, sympathetic overdrive, starts to shut down. That's why this isn't mindset. It's physiology. Now, I need you to hear this part carefully because this is where most people mess it up. They try breathing exercises, and they fail because they do them at the wrong speed. They breathe too fast, or they breathe too slow, or they do random deep breaths, and then they conclude breathing doesn't work. But 6 breaths per minute is the sweet spot. This is the rhythm where the nervous system responds the strongest. So let's make it extremely practical. How to do this tonight, step by step. Tonight, before bed. 1. Sit in a chair or sit upright in bed, not lying flat if that makes you sleepy or makes your breathing shallow. 2. Set a timer for 5 minutes. 3. Breathe through your nose if possible. 4. Inhale gently for 5 seconds. Count in your head slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let your belly expand first, then your chest. 5. Exhale gently for 5 seconds. Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't force it. Don't strain. Smooth and steady. If you lose count, no problem. Just come back to the rhythm. 5 minutes. That's the full routine. Now here's an important tip. If counting makes you anxious, use a simple pacing method. Watch a second hand on a clock. Or use a free breathing timer app that guides 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Or silently say, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out. 2, 3, 4, 5. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. Now let me tell you what happens for many people by week. What most seniors notice. Timeline. In the first week, many people notice better sleep because your nervous system isn't going to bed in fight or flight. In the second week, many people notice less tension in the chest, fewer stress surges, and calmer evenings. By weeks 4 through 8, this is when the blood pressure changes usually become measurable and meaningful. And in clinical studies, average drops are often in the range of 10 to 15 points, sometimes more, especially if your pressure is elevated to begin with. Now let's go back to William. What happened when William tried it? William did it every night at the same time. He set his timer, sat in a chair, and followed the rhythm. At first, it felt awkward. His mind wandered. He lost count. He thought, this is silly. But he stuck with it. After 2 weeks, he slept better. After about a month, his blood pressure readings were consistently lower. And the most important part, this gave him something medications never gave him: control. He wasn't just swallowing pills and hoping. He had a daily practice that directly calmed the nervous system driving his hypertension. And when he took those numbers to his doctor, with a log, his doctor finally had something to work with. That's what I want for you. Not rebellion, not risk, not stopping medication on your own. I want partnership with data. Very important safety note. Do not skip this. If you're on blood pressure medication, do not stop. Do not reduce your dose. Do not change anything without your doctor. Because if your pressure drops and you keep taking the same dose, you may start to feel lightheaded, overly tired, dizzy when standing, unusually weak. That doesn't mean the breathing is dangerous. It can mean the breathing is working, and your medications may need adjustment. But that adjustment must be done by a clinician. Also, if you have serious heart rhythm problems, unstable heart disease, or recent cardiac events, talk to your cardiologist before starting any deep breathing practice. It's safe for most people, but I always want you to be smart. Now, in the next part, I'm going to give you the exact doctor conversation script: what to say, what to track, and how to log your blood pressure so your doctor takes you seriously. And I'm also going to show you a small upgrade that makes this breathing routine even more powerful for some seniors, especially those who wake up anxious at night. Now, I promised you something very specific: how to talk to your doctor about this in a way that gets taken seriously. Because here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to walk into your doctor's office and say, "Hey doc, I saw a YouTube video that says breathing fixes blood pressure." Because the moment you say that, many doctors shut down. Not because they're evil, but because they've been trained to protect you from misinformation. So instead, you're going to do something smarter. You're going to walk in with data, and you're going to speak in the language doctors respect most: numbers, logs, and consistency. The exact plan, so your doctor can't dismiss you. Here's what you do for the next 8 weeks. 1. You keep taking your medication exactly as prescribed. 2. Every night before bed, you do the breathing practice. Inhale for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, 6 breaths per minute, 5 minutes total. 3. You measure your blood pressure at home in a consistent way. And this part is critical, because most people measure blood pressure incorrectly. They measure it right after walking around, right after coffee, right after stress, right after talking. And then they wonder why the number is high. So do it like this. How to measure correctly. Pick 2 times per day. Morning, after waking up, before breakfast, before coffee. Evening, 1 hour after dinner, before the breathing practice. When you measure, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Feet flat on the floor. Arms supported at heart level. Don't talk. Don't cross your legs. Then take 2 readings. Write both down. And use the average. Now you're doing it like a clinical trial. Now your doctor has something real. What to say to your doctor, word for word. You say, "Doctor, I've been reading about resonant frequency breathing. It's a structured breathing technique used in clinical research for blood pressure. I've been doing it daily for 5 minutes at 6 breaths per minute. I also tracked my blood pressure at home twice per day for 8 weeks. My numbers are trending down. Could we review this log together and discuss whether medication adjustments might be appropriate in the future?" That's it. That is a medical quality conversation. No drama, no conspiracy, no ego. Just, here's what I did, here's the evidence, can we work together? And in almost every case, your doctor will respond well. Because there is literally no downside to this practice. No drug interactions, no side effects, no risk. Just a nervous system shift. Now here's the hidden upgrade that makes this even stronger. And this part is going to surprise you, because it's not about breathing harder. It's about breathing with the right posture. If you breathe while slumped forward, your lungs can't expand fully. Your diaphragm doesn't move properly. Your vagus nerve activation is weaker. So here's what I want you to do. When you sit, do this. Shoulders relaxed, spine tall, chin slightly tucked, hands resting on thighs, belly soft. Then breathe. It sounds small, but for many seniors, posture is the difference between, "Meh, this feels relaxing," and, "Wow, my whole body just dropped into calm." The most common mistake, and how to fix it. The most common mistake is this. People breathe correctly for 2 nights, then they forget, then they skip, then they do it sometimes, and the nervous system never rewires. So here's how you make this permanent. You attach it to something you already do. For example, right after brushing your teeth, right after turning off the TV, right after taking nighttime medication, right after putting your phone on the charger. Same trigger every night, because habits stick when they have a trigger. What if you're on 3 medications like William? Then this is even more important, because as your blood pressure improves, your medications might start feeling too strong. And the signs are dizziness when standing, fatigue that feels heavy, low energy, feeling faint, unusually cold hands, headaches that weren't there before. If that happens, you do not panic. You do not stop medication. You call your doctor. You say, My blood pressure is trending lower and I'm feeling lightheaded. Could we review my medication doses? That's how you do it safely. And now I want to tell you something emotional, because this isn't just about numbers. This is about fear. If you've ever laid in bed at night and thought, what if I have a stroke in my sleep? Or, what if my heart gives out? Or, what if I end up in a nursing home like my father? Then you understand what this practice really gives you. It gives you agency. A small ritual that tells your nervous system, I'm not helpless. I'm doing something every night to protect my brain, my heart, my life. And that mental shift alone lowers blood pressure. Because fear keeps the gas pedal pressed down, and breathing is how you release it. Quick recap, so it's crystal clear. Starting tonight, 5 minutes. Inhale 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds. 6 breaths per minute. Every night before bed. Track your blood pressure. Bring the log to your doctor. And you do this for 8 weeks. Not 2 nights, not 1 week, 8 weeks. That's the window where the studies show the real shift happens. Now, before we finish, I want you to hear me clearly. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. High blood pressure is not just a number. It's a silent pressure inside your body that damages your brain, your kidneys, your heart, and your arteries every single day. And the most dangerous part is this. You can feel fine right up until the moment you don't. Right up until the stroke. Right up until the heart attack. Right up until the fall. And that's why what you learn today matters so much. Because you now have something most people never get. A tool you can use every single night, at home, for free. Not a pill, not a supplement, not a gadget. Your breath. The 5-minute habit. Final recap. Starting tonight before bed, sit comfortably. Inhale through your nose for 5 seconds. Exhale through your nose for 5 seconds. Repeat for 5 minutes. That's 6 breaths per minute. Do it nightly for 8 weeks. Track your blood pressure. Bring your log to your doctor. And if your numbers drop significantly, which they often do, then you and your doctor can discuss medication adjustments safely. A message for seniors watching this. If you're over 60, you have been told your whole life that health is something that happens to you, that you just wait for diagnoses, that you just take pills, that you just accept the side effects. But that is not the full truth. Your body still responds, your nervous system still adapts, your blood vessels still listen, and your brain still heals when you give it the right signal. This breathing technique is one of the simplest signals your body understands. What I want you to do right now. If you're committing to trying this tonight, type starting tonight. And if you're currently on blood pressure medication, type BP meds. I read every comment, and your comment might be the push another senior needs to finally take control. Like plus subscribe, Natural CTA. If this video helped you, please hit like. It tells YouTube to show this to more seniors who need it. And subscribe to Dr. Emily Carter Senior Health, because every week I post evidence-based, senior-friendly health strategies that most people never hear about in the doctor's office. Next video teaser. And in the next video, I'm going to show you something even more powerful. A simple kitchen combination that improves blood pressure, circulation, and artery flexibility in a way that stacks perfectly with this breathing practice. So don't miss it. Final line. Strong emotional close. Remember this. You are not powerless. Your health is not finished. Your story is not over. This is not just aging. This is something you can improve, starting tonight. 5 minutes, 1 breath at a time. I'll see you in the next video.